Well, a coalition of civil rights and housing advocacy groups is calling on the city of San Diego to end housing segregation with a change in zoning laws. KUSI's Sasha Fu tells us about the push to end single-family zoning. Sasha.
Ginger, here's a question. Why are some neighborhoods in the city mostly white, while others are mostly home to people of color? Well, housing advocacy groups say it's not by chance. It's the result of zoning laws that keep neighborhoods segregated, and they say that has to end. By law, housing discrimination is illegal. But the social justice and civil rights advocates say San Diego remains a very segregated city, and they say that was by design.
We are tired of the continuation of policies masked as zoning, when in reality, they are policies of segregation.
According to these activists, the separation of white and non-white neighborhoods goes back 80 years. The executive director of a group called LISC San Diego showed reporters a map of San Diego from the 1930s, when commercial banks refused to make home loans to black and Mexican American families.
So the pink is where the federal government in the 1930s told banks not to lend in those neighborhoods,
forcing those families to remain in those areas in neighborhoods such as Barrio Logan, City Heights, and Linda Vista.
These are communities that to this day are struggling for investment. These are communities to this day that are struggling for continued access.
The coalition says it's time for city leaders to change the antiquated zoning laws and get rid of areas that only allow people to live in single-family homes.
What we want to do is end single-family zoning, and we want to allow for multifamily zoning throughout all of San Diego.
Our city council can do this by drafting an ordinance that mirrors SB 50 at the local level.
The group is calling its platform SD 50, a reference to SB 50, a Senate bill that was scuttled in the state legislature that would have added more density to areas near public transit and allow more homes to be built on land that was previously zoned for only single-family homes. The advocates say they also want to keep longtime residents from being displaced.
Protect sensitive communities at risk of gentrification and displacement, establish zoning for multifamily housing in all residential areas. To this day, we continue to have to fight for these things and so many things that other San Diegans take for granted.
We asked the head of a local civil rights organization, the NAACP, what he would say to San Diegans who don't want apartments in their neighborhoods.
If you think that your single-family community should not have apartment dwellers, you have to ask yourself why. And especially if you know and understand that you exist in a single-family community because your government deliberately segregated and discriminated against people, is that something you want to continue? Is that something you buy into and support?
Yes, this is challenging, but at the end of the day, we just celebrated 50 years of going to the moon, and we're asking to change zoning. We're asking to change zoning, folks. It's not that complicated.
Well, the group says this is merely a first step in trying to remove the barriers to a more integrated San Diego. The regional planning agency, SANDAG, and Mayor Kevin Faulkner have also been supportive of some of the group's objectives, which include adding more density to areas near public transit and job centers. I'm Sasha Fu. Now back to you, Anna.
Interesting take, Sasha. Thank you.